Cùng chính ta tơ sở tình quay chư pha huệ chi di trẻ chúng sanh sinh choang mèo pha luân trao tao của mừng rô hơ leo sơn phó sư ly khô tờ là chỗ sân cô sân. Will the Sangha with brave virtue out of compassion for the shape of this assembly and all living beings, return the wonderful Dharma will to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo
tassa bhagavato
arahato
samma
sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage
to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened. Namo saranto suchedoye alahuri samyao sambutoshe.
Namo saranto suchedoye alahuri samyao sambutoshe.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. 师父上人，各位师兄，大家阿弥陀佛. Venerable Master, Dharma friends, welcome. Jingwei Shi, is my volume good enough in the back? Can you hear me? It's all right? Okay, good. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Tonight is the 18th of February. It is a Saturday night here in Berkeley, California. It's a Sunday noon in Queensland, Australia. We've got a couple, there's one left. There's one empty seat in the front waiting for somebody to boldly come and occupy it, because we're getting kind of full in the back there on the women's side. Empty seat up front. Anybody got the courage to grab that seat? Please do. We have nobody wearing a robe who should sit in front of you, so we're all... Actually, I take it back. Maybe Akuk or maybe Liu is going to sit there. I don't know. We got to what do you say, Liu? That's your seat waiting for you right there. Good. Okay. Good. Plenty of empty seats on the men's side if anybody's really courageous over there. So, and lots of seats up above. So, nice to see everyone. Welcome to our Avatamsaka Sutra lecture tonight. We got something special on tap for you, which is a whole new chapter starting tonight. Let's get underway. And as we do, I want to say how much I appreciate the kindness of the volunteers who come together to make this lecture happen in a variety of ways. Okay, and one of the things you do is you tune your banjo. So folks are here, and also in Australia, translating for the Chinese speakers around the world. Not just, anybody got a tiny screwdriver? A little pocket screwdriver? I need a little blade. I don't have my pocket knife with me. Just a little one. It's like small. Otherwise I won't be able to play. It's a problem. The banjo hit the deck just before I began. So to say the translators in Australia work so hard to hear what I'm saying, they hear it on YouTube, they send it back out over Zoom into China and around the world so that Chinese speakers can hear what I'm saying. Further, we have Vietnamese translators who make it possible for Vietnamese speakers to hear the Dharma and enjoy the benefits. And tonight we're going to do something special. But we also have tech folks who are doing the marvelous work of sending my lecture out over a variety of inner tubes to all of you. So with the pictures and the projector and the audio and the video. Now, I need to tell everybody at the start while we're waiting here, yay! I want to tell everybody that next week our lecture will be, wow, I could build an automobile with all these choices here. Look at that. It's great, yeah. Next week, the lecture will be delivered to you by Jinwei Shi and Jinchuan Shi. I'm going to be on an airplane this time next week, heading to Australia. And it seems like I just arrived, but I will be back soon. And going to Australia to, ideally, if all goes well, and I could use your prayers and attention, I will become a citizen, passport-carrying citizen of that fair country. That would be ideal. We don't know if and when that will happen. Cross our fingers. Then I have dual citizenship, and I can come and go without worrying that I'm not staying long enough and lose my visa, etc. So, that's the reason for going back. Yes. We're good. So that means that next week, Jinchuan Jinwei Shi will be lecturing. The following week, I will be back virtually from Australia to lecture to everyone. We will carry on with our new chapter, which I'm going to tell you all about in just a moment. Okay, done. To get going, can you see on the screen above the name of the sutra and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the Avatamsaka assembly? This is an invocation, which means we invite them, put our palms together and say, please come. When they do, if we are sincere, they invisibly bless every one of us. So. Namo Da Fang Guang Ho Wan Jing Huayan Hai Hui O Pu San Namo Da Fang Guang Ho Huayan Jing Huayan Hai Hui O Pu San Namo Da Fang Guang Ho Huayan Jing Huayan Hai 萨，南无大方广博华严经，华严海会佛菩萨，南无大方广博华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。There we are. Okay. Now, the Chochenyo Ohlone people here in the Bay Area practice spiritual connections to earth and to all creation on their own ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and the original storytellers, meaning holding the wisdom of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and to come, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. We say that the Chochenyo Ohlone人在他们祖先的土地上修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系已有数万年。今天我们承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人和原始讲故事的人，就是保持这个地方的智慧并且向他们过去、现在和未来新兴的长老表示敬意，及民族权从未破坏让的所有第一民族人民们表示敬意。We do. Okay, here we go. All right. So, new chapter tonight. The Avatamsaka Sutra is built like this. There's 3/4 of the book, which means up to chapter 38, is about how you should practice the Bodhisattva path. If you wanted to imitate a Bodhisattva, an awakened being, what you should do. The last quarter, one entire quarter of the sutra, introduces a person who comes out to do what the first 3/4 of the sutra gave you in theory. He puts it into practice. His name is Shancai Tongsa Sudana. Anybody been to the Sudana Center? Do you know the Sudana Center? That's where his name came from. And before we go any further, I'm going to show you the bell song. Bell song. Coming up. There we are. The bell song in Chinese goes, 众生传三千界内，佛法扬万亿国中，功勋起法界和平，利益报他诺厚德。In English, it goes like this. The bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sound that everywhere fills the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. That's the bell song. So our sutra, I've been explaining the Avatamsaka Sutra for 30 years. Different chapters, different pieces of it. And I've never imagined trying to explain chapter 39, Sudana's story, called Ru Fa Jie Ping, chapter on how you merge with the Dharma realm, how you integrate your body, your mind, your soul with the Dharma realm. Dharma realm meaning everything, all the universe, and you become one. That's what Sudana does. Sudana becomes a Buddha. He goes all the way to success. He starts out as a young man, and he takes all the steps. They say he travels for 12 years and meets 53 teachers. One by one, they teach him their own methods of practice that they themselves used to succeed. And I've been talking about it all these years, telling stories about it, but never thought that I would actually get to open it up and investigate it line by line. So that's what we're about to do, and I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to do this. It's huge. It's a really, really long chapter. It's so big. And when we finished chapter 19 and chapter 20, and people said, "What's next? What chapter next?" Someone said, "Oh, chapter 39, Ru Fa Jie Ping." And I went, nope, too big. No, you got another 11 years? It'd take us 11 years to go. He said, "No, we want that, Fasher. That's the one." So it's like, well, how could we do it? Could we do it? And let me show you. Here's how it's built. Right there. Put you away. There are 10 parts. And hold on here. There we go. There's 10 parts before Sudana arrives. First thing, there's a preface. We're going to do that tonight. The next thing is people do what Goku and Liu just did. They request Dharma. Gong Qing Da Da. They're requesting the Buddha. They're asking the Buddha. So the next thing is all the bodhisattvas enter samadhi. They just cross their legs, put their minds in a place where they can hear the Dharma. Right? Do people know why before sutra lecture we do evening chanting, Wanke? It's always that way at Gold Mountain. You do an hour of chanting, then you do the lecture. It's because after an hour of chanting, your mind is quiet. You're going to hear different things from the lecture than if you came in just, rolling right out of your car off the freeway, which I understand most of us do. But it used to be at Gold Mountain that to hear the sutra, you're supposed to take part in the lecture first because you hear more. When your mind is quiet and prepared, it goes in at a different level. Same words, same time, just different. You hear it different. So the samadhi that the bodhisattvas enter is precisely for that, so that when they hear the Buddha, they get it, all of it. They get 100% of what the Buddha was saying. Okay, what happens next? Oh man, bodhisattvas appear from the north, the south, the east, the west, the northeast, the southeast, the northwest, the southwest, below and above. All 10 directions, bodhisattvas come in, and one by one, what they do is they they talk about their intention. Then, so this is intentions not all realized. Then what do? Each one of the leaders comes out and praises the Buddha. 10 songs from each bodhisattva. Amazing stuff. And they're beautiful poetry. We've just been doing it with our chapter from the Suyama Heaven. When they do it, chapter 39, magnificent. Okay, Samantabhadra starts, he announces we're going to do it now. Then the Buddha sends light out from between his eyebrows. And the light does incredible stuff. And it's the Avatamsaka Sutra. We hear all the things the light does. It's like beyond your imagination. It totally opens your mind to hear what the light that the Buddha releases does. Manjushri, Bodhisattva, who is kind of the host of the whole thing, says, oh, you know what? He says, we're about to see a bodhisattva appear. What happens? Sudana shows up. Manjushri says, you go south. Ask for Dharma, he says. Sudana goes, do I have to leave you? Manjushri says, yeah, you do. He cries, circles around Manjushri, and then heaves a sigh and goes south to see his first teacher. So this is how all this stuff happens before Sudana shows up, before the text actually begins. So it takes a long time for all this to happen. Let me show you. You ready? Give you a clue. Here we go. Okay, here's the English. You can't read a word of it. It's too small. Why? I want to show you the length of it. Take a look. This is section 1, including 141 bodhisattvas' names. Number 94, number 112, right? Look at all this. This is the 10 parts that I told you. It all happens here. All that. We're still in part 1. Di'izhen, right? So, bodhisattvas come in from all the different directions. All of that, still going, right? Just to give you a sense of how much text, how big this is, how much text we have to get through. Okay, here come the praises. 10 bodhisattvas, 10 praises. We get 100 songs. 100 sacred songs. Going on and on and on. Okay, you all get the point, right? Long chapter. So we got to solve this issue. There's part 2. This is still preamble. Sudana hasn't arrived yet. Okay, oh man, right? So, more praises, more wisdom. Bodhisattva Manjushri says, there's somebody coming. Manjushri says, get ready because somebody's about to show up. And starting there, Sudana arrives. So my point in doing all that scrolling, that I know you didn't get a word of it, right? The point is what? Before we get to what you might call the action of the sutra, before the real stuff happens, we've got 2 scrolls, 2卷, to go through. So I had to ask around. I posed this question to half a dozen folks and said, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through that? Because if we went line by line, I guarantee only the hardcore Avatamsaka gang would still be here. Everybody else would be, Fasher, I've actually got a pot on the stove. I got to get back, and I don't want to burn my house. You don't want my house to burn. Well, I better go back. Oh, see, I'll listen online, Fasher. Yeah, there'd be a million excuses why you didn't want to, because it's hard to get through. 100 songs, 100 songs. Now, I don't mean to look lightly on your Bodhi resolve, but personally, that's a lot to go through. When we get to the 3rd gen, when Sudana shows up, suddenly everything's different. Here's a real identifiable hero setting out on an epic quest to become a Buddha, learning as much as he can from each teacher. Each of the teachers, my goodness, the teachers who show up, there's a ship's captain, there's a prostitute, there's an incense maker, there's an immortal who subjects his body to the 5 fires. He's an extreme cultivator, right? There are bhikshunis, there are maidens, there are kings among the 53 teachers. They all are identifiable personalities. They all have their own special teaching. So when we get there, it is lively, it is extremely wonderful to hear the sutra's wisdom posed in a way that comes from inside. You have the feeling that the Buddha is reading the deepest parts of your nature. And you can also pick out all the different teachings from chapters 1 through chapters 38, now brought together and taught to an individual who's a pilgrim. He's a seeker. And he has emotions that are identifiable in the sutra. He cries, he jumps for joy, he gets afraid, he gets courageous, he gets depressed, he gets encouraged. Wonderful stuff. It's the Buddha's epic story, epic literature in Mahayana tradition. There's a love story in right in the middle of the various teachings, and there's mantras, the 42 syllables of the Huayan Zimu, the Avatamsaka alphabet, pop up. Who else shows up? Guanyin Bodhisattva shows up. What does she teach? Courage, fearlessness. Wu Wei Pusa, the Bodhisattva who bestows Shi Wu Wei Pusa, the Bodhisattva who gives courage. She's there. Who else? Oh, you know who actually does the heavy lifting? Is Maitreya. Maitreya Bodhisattva, not the fat, laughing Buddha, not him, but the other Maitreya, shows up and takes Sudana at the end of the pilgrimage into his enlightenment. And that is an unforgettable, incredible section of chapter 39, is what Sudana sees as he enters into the adorned pagoda, the pavilion of Vairochana Buddha. So all this stuff is ahead of us, and man, oh man, if I'm, looking, this is so nice to be able to see faces looking back at me. I see actual eyes and expressions and interest, and those of you who are still here, still listening, when Sudana wakes up, guarantee you will have a whole different appreciation of the Bodhisattva path at that point. It may be a few years. We may be in this building for, 3, 4, 5 years before we actually get to Vairochana's adorned pavilion. But when we do, if you're all still on board, it will be a big vehicle, a large ship carrying all of us towards the Huazang Zhuangyan, Huazang Zhuangjie Shijiehai, the Avatamsaka's world, the flower-adorned world of the flower treasury. All right, so that's the plan. Now, the question is, what's the question? How do we get across those first 2 rolls, the first scrolls, without going line by line, which would be too slow? The proposal is that we recite. We don't try to explain it because it's very repetitious, but we recite it. Either I recite it while you listen, which I think for the Chinese might be best, and for the English, we'll recite together. And at the same time, where there's something to explain, I will point out kind of the topography, the exciting moments of what happens. So that was the suggestion. And is that, I'm open to other suggestions, but for the time being, let's see how that goes. All right? Here's what I'm going to suggest. Let's see now. Here we go. Give me a second here. Okay, hold on. Be right with you. Alrighty, hold on. Here we are. Okay. Here's what we can do. I'm going to recite this first section. Invite everybody to put your palms together, if you don't mind. 大方广佛华严经入法界品第39之一。20世尊在史洛伐国士多林几故独园，大庄严重阁，与菩萨摩诃萨500人聚，普贤菩萨、文殊师利菩萨2位上首，其名曰光焰床菩萨、须弥床菩萨、宝床菩萨、无碍床菩萨、花床菩萨、理垢床菩萨、日床菩萨、妙床菩萨、离尘床菩萨、普光床菩萨。Okay, did you all hear the pusa in there 10 times? All right. Are we ready? Let's start with this one. Together, palms together. Ready? Here we go. The Avatamsaka Sutra, Chapter 39, Entering the Dharma Realm, Section 1. All right, here we go. Ready? Join with me, please. At that time, the world-honored one was in the kingdom of Shravasti, in the Jada Grove, in the garden of the benefactor of orphans and the solitary, inside the magnificent pavilion, together with a gathering of 500 bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, who were led by Samantabhadra Bodhisattva and Manjushri Bodhisattva. Also in the assembly were, ready, here we go, Bright Flame Banner Bodhisattva, Sumeru Banner Bodhisattva, Jewel Banner Bodhisattva, Unobstructed Banner Bodhisattva, flower banner, Bodhisattva, leaving defilement banner, Bodhisattva, sun banner, Bodhisattva, wondrous banner, Bodhisattva, apart from the dust banner, Bodhisattva, and universal light banner, Bodhisattva. Excellent. We did it. We started. This is the beginning of the chapter. Now, let me say just a bit about it. We are in the 9th meeting of the Avatamsaka assembly. The Avatamsaka Sutra took 9 different gatherings to explain the whole thing. That's how long it is. Those gatherings took place in 7 different places. This is the 2nd time the Buddha called everybody together to the Jade Grove. And the Jade Grove is in Shravasti. Shravasti is called Fengde, the place of abundant blessings. That's an actual place in India. And the Jade Grove is that famous garden where Prince Jada wanted to make an offering of the garden to the Buddha, but it belonged to somebody else. And so he said, okay, I'll buy it from you. It's from the guy who owned it, and Anathapindika. And so the two of them worked it out so that Anathapindika could make an offering of the trees while Prince Jada made an offering of the ground. He covered every inch of the ground with gold. That was the purchase price. So how much was that? You can imagine. And as I was looking in the research today, they say pretty much everybody agrees it actually happened. That historical event, when it comes to money, people remember that kind of thing. So he said, I'll buy it from you, I'll cover every inch with gold. And so Anathapindika, who was a generous, kind benefactor, somebody who had lots of orphanages and seniors' homes and hospitals and all, he said, all right, he said, that's fine. He said, however, you didn't cover the trees, so let me make those my offering to the Buddha. So it was a dual offering, so they both got a chance to create some blessings. Now, you think, oh, that's a cute story. Well, a lot of things happen in the Jade Grove. The Buddha taught for 49 years, and the Jade Grove, this particular park, was his favorite place to go. And he would live there with all his disciples. Now, you've seen this old church. We're here in the Church of the Nazarene. You're sitting in the former Church of the Nazarene, built in 1898. So do the math. 125 years old. Now, the actual room that we're in was built in 1930, this front part. But when you're in the dining room, when you're in the office area or in the back, 1898. They expanded it. They added this much to it. And it probably included the 2 lots beside us. So 125-year-old building. And we have right now 4 monks living here with room for lay people in adjacent buildings. We're full. It's full up right now. The Jade Grove was big enough, expansive enough for 1,250 monks to live all together. 1,250 people, maybe some were bhikshunis. They might have had a section set aside for lay people, for nuns. So we traveled to India and said, we'd love to see the Jade Grove. And, oh, well, come. We will show you. Very nice, very nice. So we went to see the Jade Grove, and sure enough, here were red brick foundations. They said, this is where the Buddha sat and slept and received offerings and washed his feet. And they said the Buddha would get up at 2 in the morning, didn't need a lot of sleep, and he would sit in meditation and send his compassion around the world, look where people needed help, and he would, go receive offerings and go speak Dharma, etc. So they said, this is it. This is the actual spot. And it was a beautiful park, lots of grass, lots of trees in the middle of Varanasi. And there was another story. By the way, the keepers of the Buddha's holy sites were the monks from the Mahabodhi Society, Sri Lankan Theravada tradition. They're the ones who take care of the Buddha's holy sites. They take care of the Bodhi tree, etc. So there is a story, another story about the Jade Grove, which is, people know the name Devadatta? Devadatta was the Buddha's actual cousin, and in his mind, he should be the Buddha. That is to say, he should get the fame, he should get the recognition, he should get the offerings, he should get the honor that his cousin the Buddha got, according to Devadatta's twisted, selfish mind. He set himself up in a variety of ways to be different and better than the Buddha. That was his goal. So he, in his jealousy, his envy of the Buddha was so intense that he actually tried to kill him on multiple occasions. He tried to defame him in a variety of ways, tried to smear his reputation, and all of his schemes didn't work. You know Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner? Anybody like Roadrunner cartoons? You have to be a certain age, maybe. Marion, you know about the Roadrunner, right? Wile E. Coyote, with our age. So the Wile E. Coyote tries to catch the Roadrunner so many times, you know, drop an anvil off a cliff, and every time he fails, it curses, you know, he gets upset. You can visualize Devadatta going, curses, every time he tried to defame or kill the Buddha. And a lot of the Buddha's stories, the ones you remember, have to do with the fact that someone was trying to kill him. You think, oh, being the Buddha must be so groovy, so copacetic and cool, you know. Not. People tried to do him in multiple times, the same with the sixth patriarch and others. So, one of those times, the Devadatta said, okay, well, the Buddha has a reputation for purity. He's a moral person. By the way, there is heat on the way. Those of you who are shivering, it's too cold. We turned the furnace up. So that sound you hear, that's the furnace. There's heat coming. So relief is on the way. Anybody, there are blankets on both sides. If you'd like to wrap up, don't feel shy. We don't want people to get sick, right? So on this final occasion, Devadatta hatched a scheme. He needed help to defame the Buddha. The Buddha was supposed to be a moral paragon, somebody who's followed his own training rules, right? No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct. He lived brahmachari. He lived purely. So Devadatta, like Wile E. Coyote, I'll ruin the Buddha's reputation. He found a woman of ill repute. He found a courtesan, and he arranged with her to get some pillows and clothing and tie them under her dress to give the appearance that she was pregnant. And she accused the Buddha of having made her pregnant. And everybody's like, oh, could this be? We thought the Buddha was pure, right? So the Buddha was completely fine. He's like, oh, really? Is that right? Oh, who's saying this about me? That's interesting. Okay. He was very calm about it. But the devas who surround the Buddha and the Buddha's disciples were not so calm. They transformed their bodies into the bodies of white mice, ran up the legs of the courtesan, and bit the rope holding the padding in the bedding, which fell to the ground, and there she was, suddenly not pregnant. And everybody's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? They said, it must be Devadatta again. Curses, foiled again. Snidely whiplash. So the story goes, and so here we are, it's 1983, we're visiting the Jada Grove with a group of monks from City of 10,000 Buddhas. And the Mahabodhi Society Bhikshu, who is being our guide, charming guy, he says, well, he says, you know the story. He says, Devadatta attempted to slander the Buddha. Slander the world honored one, can you imagine? He says. And he says, what happened? Do you know how the story ends? And Heng Zhao, the former Heng Zhao, Mr. Kellerman, Roger said, yes. He said, yeah, we know the story. The story goes that Devadatta fell alive into the hells, they said, on the spot, because this was like attempt number 4 to kill the Buddha, and that's one of the cardinal sins. And of course, Roger said, yes, but the hells aren't real. People don't fall into the hells alive. So the bhikshu said, very good. He said, turn around. And he pointed under the trees, which were just over to the right. He said, you see that depression in the earth? That's the spot. That's where Devadatta fell alive. And we looked, and the ground there was a depression where the grass had filled in. We're like, really? Yes, that's the place. So, okay, yeah, Jada Grove. And it was seeing the red brick outline, where that have survived for 2,500 years. Bricks don't decay that fast, and how the beautiful park. So that's Shravasti, and here's our story. At that time, the world honored one was there, in Shravasti, in the Jada Grove, in the garden of Anathapindika, the Jada Grove in Anathapindika's park, the two donors together, inside a magnificent pavilion. Okay, now, the magnificent pavilion was a structure made of bamboo and thatch. It didn't survive. But there it is. That's where Avatamsaka gathering number 9 has come to hear the end of the story that the Buddha wants to teach. Together with who? 500 bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, who were led by Bodhisattva Samantabhadra and Bodhisattva Manjushri. Now, our current teaching, the way we're doing it, the way we're translating, we're putting Bodhisattva in front of the name. This translation that we have here is not our latest translation, but it's the one that we're going to work with for the purpose of the lecture. We would now say Bodhisattva Samantabhadra and Bodhisattva Manjushri. We put the title in front of the name. Why? You don't say Biden President. You don't say Harris Vice President. You say President Biden, Vice President Harris. Right? So Bodhisattva is the title. It goes in front of the name. That's the way we're doing it these days. So there are some discrepancies for those of you keeping track. Also in the assembly were Bodhisattva Bright Flame Banner, Bodhisattva Sumeru, Jeweled, Unobstructed, Flower, Leaving Defilement, Sun, Wondrous, Apart from Dust, Universal Light. Bodhisattvas, all with a banner name. And if we were going line by line, I would take time to point out some of the points about banners, etc. So we're not going to do that this time. We're going to keep going. And look what happens next. Bodhisattva, 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 141 of them. Okay? So if you all don't mind, we're going to take a music break. To give you something other than my voice to listen to. Here's our program for Saturday nights is going to look like this from now on. Pretty much, unless we get some information to the contrary. We're going to do our Dharma request. we're going to Namo Da Fang Guang Fo Hua Yin Jing, invoke spiritual presence, acknowledge country, do the bell song, do the first half explanation, then half an hour, and we're going to do a music break just to kind of change things up, do the second half of the sutra, do a second music break, then either seven Tathagata's names or Mangala Sutta, going to share an act of kindness story, going to ask everybody what's going on with BBM, and then transfer merit. That's kind of what I think it will be our standard Saturday night program. Okay, with that in mind, got something that you'll enjoy, I hope. Brand new Guanyin Bodhisattva song. Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. Guanyin Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. Guanyin Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. When you need her, call her name out loud. She'll give you a hand. Guanyin Bodhisattva, she'll give you a hand. Guanyin Bodhisattva, she'll give you a hand. Call her, name her, she'll give you her hand. Guanyin Bodhisattva rescues living beings. Guanyin Bodhisattva rescues living beings. Guanyin Bodhisattva rescues living beings. She made vows to rescue living beings. She can hear your voice. Guanyin Bodhisattva, she can hear your voice. Guanyin Bodhisattva, she can hear your voice. Call her name, she will hear your voice. Okay, one more time. You can join me. Here we go. Guanyin Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. Guanyin Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. Guanyin Bodhisattva, call her name out loud. When you need her, call her name out loud. Last line. When you need her, call her name out loud. All right. Back to the Bodhisattvas. Okay, now I'm going to go through the Chinese, and we'll go through, let's see here, universal auspicious strength. Okay, we'll do these two paragraphs together. Here we go. We'll do this, I'll do the Chinese, we'll do the English together. 地威力菩萨，宝威力菩萨，大威力菩萨，金刚智威力菩萨，离嗔垢威力菩萨，正法日威力菩萨，功德山威力菩萨，智光影威力菩萨，普吉祥威力菩萨。Okay, there we go. Start with 10. Ready? 10 stages, awesome strength, bodhisattva. Jeweled strength, bodhisattva. Great strength, bodhisattva. Vajra strength, wisdom, bodhisattva. Leaving defilement, strength, bodhisattva. Proper dharma's sun, strength, bodhisattva. Virtue mountain, strength, bodhisattva. Wisdom light, reflection, strength, bodhisattva. And universal auspicious strength, bodhisattva. Okay, I think you all saw great strength. It has a wei in there, da wei li. It's not da shi zhi. It's different, but same translation. Now, we're going to read, look at this one. Look who's coming up. Who was there? Okay, here we go. 地藏菩萨, 虚空藏菩萨, 莲花藏菩萨, 宝藏菩萨, 日藏菩萨, 净德藏菩萨, 法印藏菩萨, 光明藏菩萨, 齐藏菩萨, 莲花德藏菩萨. Ready? Together? Earth treasury, bodhisattva. Space treasury, bodhisattva. Lotus treasury, bodhisattva. Jewel treasury, bodhisattva. Sun treasury, bodhisattva. Pure virtue treasury, bodhisattva. Dharma seal treasury, bodhisattva. Brightness treasury, bodhisattva. Navel treasury, bodhisattva. And lotus virtue treasury, bodhisattva. Okay, strength. Then treasury, they have these caches, stashes of all these good things. 善言菩萨, 净言菩萨, 离垢言菩萨, 无碍言菩萨, 普见言菩萨, 善观言菩萨, 莲花华严菩萨. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. 青莲华严菩萨, 金刚言菩萨, 宝严菩萨, 虚空言菩萨, 悉言菩萨, 普严菩萨. Eyes. Ready? Wholesome eyes, bodhisattva. Pure eyes, bodhisattva. Leaving defilement, eyes, bodhisattva. Unobstructed eyes, bodhisattva. Universal seeing eyes, bodhisattva. Skillfully contemplating eyes, bodhisattva. Blue lotus flower eyes, bodhisattva. Vajra eyes, bodhisattva. Jewel eyes, bodhisattva. Eye of the universe, bodhisattva. Happy eyes, bodhisattva. And universal eyes, bodhisattva. Okay, interesting. Eye of the universe. Happy eyes, that's a nice name. Okay, those are all eyes, bodhisattvas. Getting a feeling for the Avatamsaka, huh? Here we go. 天观菩萨，普照法界智慧观菩萨，道场观菩萨，普照十方观菩萨，一切佛藏观菩萨，超出一切世间观菩萨，普照观菩萨，不可坏观菩萨，持一切如来狮子座观菩萨，普照法界虚空观菩萨。Amazing names. They're getting longer and longer, the names. Okay, ready? Here we go. Celestial crown, Bodhisattva, universally illumining the Dharma realm wisdom, crown, Bodhisattva. Bodhimanda, crown, Bodhisattva, universally illumining the 10 directions, crown, Bodhisattva. All Bodhisattvas' treasury, crown, Bodhisattva. Transcending all worlds, crown, Bodhisattva. Universally illumining, crown, Bodhisattva. Indestructible crown, Bodhisattva. Maintaining all thus come ones, lion throne, crown, Bodhisattva. And universally illumining the Dharma realm and space, crown, Bodhisattva. Wow. Okay, those are all crown Bodhisattvas. 10 of them, they all came together. They probably all sat together. They're probably all wearing kind of some uniform or some identifying symbol together. And they're probably all wearing wonderful crowns. So that's their identity. They all come because why? They want to learn from the Buddha how to be better at being bodhisattvas. They have living beings they have to cross over, people who have particular issues, people who can't get along with their partners, people who get along too well with everybody's partner, people who fear that they will never have a partner to get along with, others who don't want to have a partner and really should, all different kinds of issues, and they don't know quite what to say to get them to see past the things their eyes meet, to go, imagine if every time you looked at your partner you saw their soul, not just their outer appearance. What would you see? Maybe you'd run the other way, right? Maybe you'd say, now that explains it. Now I understand why you do that every time. It's like, can't stand it. Now I understand why. Right? And I love you for it. Right? So, what would you do? What would you see if you could see past the skin into, who this person really is lifetime after lifetime? Probably you'd say, I'm so sorry. Why did I always say the wrong thing? Oh, please forgive me, right? You never know. So that's why they're there, because they want to hear from the Buddha what it takes to catch the heart of the people they want to teach, so that when they hear from them, they go, yes, that just hits just right. That fills that hole that was always felt something was missing. Thank you for those kind thoughts. So, the point is, these bodhisattvas are here because they're still learning. They have a ways to go, but in order to be bodhisattvas, that means that they have living beings who are waiting for them to speak Dharma, to show them how to be better people, to do the wise thing, the kind thing. That's what they're there to do. But after they hear what the Buddha teaches, they do it better than before. That's why they're there. So, okay, next is cowl. See this word cowl, C-O-W-L? That's the roji. If you look at Buddha images, they've got this funny shaped head. That's the seat of the wisdom, and it's called a cowl in English. So that's this word, ji. So we're going to, all these bodhisattvas have ji in their name, and their names are long. Okay, here we go. Fan Wang Ji Pusa, Long Wang Ji Pusa, Ji, fourth tone, Ji Pusa, 一切化佛光明 Ji Pusa, 一切道场即菩萨，一切愿海因宝王即菩萨，一切佛光明摩尼即菩萨，实现一切虚空平等相摩尼王庄严即菩萨，示现一切如来神变摩尼王床王吹覆即菩萨。哇！出一切佛转法轮因即菩萨，说三世一切名字因即菩萨。Wow. One of those names is long. Here we go. Brahma King Kaul Bodhisattva, Dragon King Kaul Bodhisattva, all transformation Buddhas light Kaul Bodhisattva, Bodhimanda Kaul Bodhisattva, sounds of all the ocean-wide boughs, Jewel King Kaul Bodhisattva, all Buddhas light Mani Kaul Bodhisattva, manifesting all of emptiness's level marks, Mani King adorned Kaul Bodhisattva, manifesting all thus come ones, spiritual transformations, Mani King banner net draped Kaul Bodhisattva, emitting all the sounds of Buddhas, turning the Dharma wheel, Kaul Bodhisattva, and speaking all names and sounds of the 3 periods of time, Kaul Bodhisattva. Long names. Moving forward, we got to get through the Bodhisattva's names tonight. Ready? Da Guang Pusa, Li Gou Guang Pusa, Bao Guang Pusa, Li Chen Guang Pusa, Yan Guang Pusa, Fa Guang Pusa, Qi Jing Guang Pusa, Ri Guang Pusa, Zi Zai Guang Pusa, Tian Guang Pusa. Okay. Lights. Ready? Great light, Bodhisattva. Leaving defilement, light, Bodhisattva. Jeweled light, Bodhisattva. Leaving dust, light, Bodhisattva. Flaming light, Bodhisattva. Dharma light, Bodhisattva. Still and quiet light, Bodhisattva. Sunlight, Bodhisattva. Self-mastery light, Bodhisattva. And celestial light, Bodhisattva. Now, we're giving the names, but can you imagine what they look like? You know, these are bodhisattvas, these are real bodhisattvas. These are people who followed the Dharma, sat in how many Saturday night lectures, you know, until their ignorance was transformed and their wisdom emerged, and now they're real bodhisattvas, and they all have these qualities: celestial light, flaming light, still and quiet light. They talk about charisma, right? When you're with them, you just feel radiant along with them because of what they did with their bodies, their mouths, and their minds, and the choices they made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, got a few more to go. We're back to banners. Here, banners. Ready? Here we go. 福德创菩萨，智慧创菩萨，法创菩萨，神通创菩萨，光创菩萨，花创菩萨，摩尼创菩萨，菩提创菩萨，梵创菩萨，普光创菩萨。Ready? Blessings and virtue banner, Bodhisattva. Wisdom banner, Bodhisattva. Dharma banner, Bodhisattva. Psychic powers banner, Bodhisattva. Light banner, Bodhisattva. Flower banner, Bodhisattva. Mani banner, Bodhisattva. Bodhi banner, Bodhisattva. Brahma banner, Bodhisattva. And universal light banner, Bodhisattva. Banners are, we don't have any banners here at BBM. CTDB, you want to see banners? Go in the Buddha Hall. There's the ones that go this way, and there's the one that go this way. And we somehow, guess we haven't been here long enough to get banners. Banners show up at a certain age. We could hang them from we get some banners. Someday, we'll have some banners here someday. Okay, sounds. So this appeals to the ear, purifying the ear. Ready? Here we go. Fan Yin. Fan Yin Pusa, Hai Yin Pusa, Da Di Yin Pusa, Shi Zhu Yin Pusa, Shan Xiang Ji Yin Pusa, Bian Yi Qie Fa Jie Yin Pusa, Zhen Yi Qie Fa Hai Lei Yin Pusa, Xiang Mo Yin Pusa, Da Bei Fang Bian Lei Yin Pusa, Xi Yi Qie Shi Jian Ku An Wei Yin Pusa. Beautiful names. Listen to the sentiment behind these bodhisattvas, spirits that gave them their name. Why did they get their name? Because of what they did. Listen, here we go. Brahma sound, bodhisattva. Ocean sound, bodhisattva. Planetary sound, bodhisattva. World rulers sound, bodhisattva. Sounds of mountains in collision, bodhisattva. Pervading all sounds of the Dharma realm, bodhisattva. Shaking all Dharma oceans, thunderous sound, bodhisattva. Subduing demons, sound, bodhisattva. Great compassion, expedient cloud, and thunderous sound, bodhisattva. And quelling all world's sufferings, comforting sound, bodhisattva. Quelling all the world's suffering. Notice none of them are named banjo player bodhisattva. Darn it. Oh, shoot. But we got mountains in collision. That's pretty good. Shaking the Dharma ocean, thunderous sound. Ooh. Must be a percussionist. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, continuing on. Shang Pusa, supreme. How they go? Superior bodhisattvas. Ready? Here we go. Fa Shang Pusa, Sheng Shang Pusa, Zhi Shang Pusa, Fu De Xu Mi Shang Pusa, Gong De Shan Hu Shang Pusa, Ming Cheng Shang Pusa, Pu Guang Shang Pusa, Da Ci Shang Pusa, Zhi Hai Shang Pusa, Fo Zhong Shang Pusa. Ready? Dharma superior bodhisattva, utmost superior bodhisattva, wisdom superior bodhisattva, meritorious virtue sumeru superior bodhisattva, meritorious virtue coral superior bodhisattva, renown superior bodhisattva, universal light superior bodhisattva, great kindness superior bodhisattva, wisdom ocean superior bodhisattva, and Buddha seed superior bodhisattva. Good stuff. These are bodhisattvas who emerge above the ordinary. Like Shang, here we have Sheng bodhisattvas. They're translated as excellence. Okay, we're almost there. Keep going. Ready? Guang Sheng. Ready? Guang Sheng Pusa, De Sheng Pusa, Shang Sheng Pusa, Pu Ming Sheng Pusa, Fa Sheng Pusa, Yue Sheng Pusa, Xu Kong Sheng Pusa, Bao Sheng Pusa, Chuang Sheng Pusa, Zhi Sheng Pusa. Ready? Radiant excellence bodhisattva, virtuous excellence bodhisattva, superior excellence bodhisattva, universal brightness excellence bodhisattva, dharma excellence bodhisattva, lunar excellence bodhisattva, space excellence bodhisattva, jewel excellence bodhisattva, banner excellence bodhisattva, and wisdom excellence bodhisattva. They were excellent, better than ordinary. Okay, we got two more and a half. This is Zizai Wang. That's the name of all 10. Ready? So Lo Zizai Wang Pusa, Fa Zizai Wang Pusa, 相自在王菩萨，饭自在王菩萨，山自在王菩萨，众自在王菩萨，速记自在王菩萨，寂静自在王菩萨，不动自在王菩萨，势力自在王菩萨，最胜自在王菩萨。Okay. Beautiful names. Elephants in here. Ready? Sala, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Dharma, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Elephant, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Brahma, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Mountain, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Multitude, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Swift, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Still and quiet, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Unshakable, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. Strength, mastery king, bodhisattva. And most superior, self-mastery king, bodhisattva. So the self-mastery, that's tsudzai. That's that idea that's so hard to translate because it goes everything from freedom to sovereign. It means essentially you're in charge. When thoughts rise up, you don't just let your anger out. When greed rises up, you don't just chase it. When confusion rises up, you're not confused by your confusion. You wait it out. You let it go. Rises and falls. That's self-mastery. So that's a quality that comes from meditation, from watching it rise, getting to know yourself. That's my stuff. That's my issues. I don't go with them anymore. I used to, not anymore. Okay. This is number 9. Ready? Jijing. Jijing yin菩萨, wu ai yin菩萨, di zhen yin菩萨, hai zhen yin菩萨, yun yin菩萨, fa guang yin菩萨, xu kong yin菩萨, shuo yi qie zhong sheng shan gen yin菩萨, shi yi qie da yuan yin菩萨, dao chang yin菩萨. Beautiful sounds. Ready? Still and quiet sound, bodhisattva. Unobstructed sound, bodhisattva. Earth-shaking sound, bodhisattva. Ocean-shaking sound, bodhisattva. Cloud sound, bodhisattva. Dharma light sound, bodhisattva. Space sound, bodhisattva. Proclaiming all beings, good roots sound, bodhisattva. Manifesting the sound of all great vows, bodhisattva. And bodhimanda sound, bodhisattva. Our bodhimanda, that's this monastery, tonight has the sound of all of you reciting the Avatamsaka Sutra. Wow, this is more than we've ever done before. How neat to be able to do this together in 2 languages. Very cool. And our Vietnamese translator, I'm sure, is having a challenge. Maybe they found the Avatamsaka in Vietnamese and they can match it. So, okay, one more, and we are done with this section. We'll go all the way down to Pu Shen Heng Yan, right there. That's where we'll stop. Okay, are we ready? Together. Xu Mi Guang Jue Pusa, Xu Kong Jue Pusa, Li Ran Jue Pusa, Wu Ai Jue Pusa, Shan Jue Pusa, Pu Zhao San Shi Jue Pusa, Guang Da Jue Pusa, Pu Ming Jue Pusa, Fa Jie Guang Ming Jue Pusa, Ru Shi Deng Pusa Moho Sa, Wu Bai Ren Ju, 此诸菩萨悉皆成就普贤恒愿. My guess is this may be the first time in American history that a large group of people have recited the Avatamsaka Sutra together on a Saturday night in downtown Berkeley. Let's not wedge our bets. Let's get some conditions in there, right? So, And there are people are doing it in the Gold Coast of Queensland and probably around the world. Hubba hubba. We go to here. Ready? Sumeru Light Awakening, Bodhisattva. Space Awakening, Bodhisattva. Leaving Defilement, Awakening, Bodhisattva. Unobstructed Awakening, Bodhisattva. Wholesome Awakening, Bodhisattva. Everywhere Illumining the three periods, Awakening, Bodhisattva. Vast Great Awakening, Bodhisattva. Universal Bright Awakening, Bodhisattva. And Dharma Realm Light Awakening, Bodhisattva. Those 500 bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, had all accomplished Samantabhadra's practices and vows. Excellent, excellent. So next week, take a look. Not next week, the following week. We're going to learn about those bodhisattvas, talks about them, a little bit about what they did. But then guess what comes next? 500 arhats. And there's 100, we just read 141 bodhisattvas' names. Why that many? Master Chungwan gives a reason, but it's that many. The Shravakas, their names are not listed, and they're also world rulers. So, like magistrates, mayors, governors, they weren't necessarily cultivators. What comes next after that is all those bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and kings of worlds had the thought, sure hope the Buddha speaks Dharma. We get the request. Ching Fa, right there. That's coming up next. Dharma request. Well done, everybody. Wow, neat. I think we probably maybe done this before, to have the opportunity to do it again. Pretty special, pretty rare. To do our... Actually, we don't have to add more good deeds. We've done it tonight. But the idea was every week we either do the highest blessings or the 7 Tathagatas, so that when we transfer merit, we've really got some accomplishment together. But let's keep this going so we remember it, right? People remember how it goes? Let's see. That big enough? Can you read it in the back? Let's boost it up a bit. There we go. Thus have I heard that the Blessed One was staying where? At Shravasti. Nobody was trying to kill him, probably. Residing at the Jada's Grove in Anathapindika's Park. Then in the dark of the night, a radiant Deva illuminated all the Jada Grove. She bowed down low before the Blessed One. Then standing to one side, she said, remember what she said? Devas are concerned for happiness and ever long for peace. The same is true for humankind. What then are the highest blessings? That's her request. And the Buddha says, and here we go, the avoiding those of foolish ways, associating with the wise, honoring those worthy of honor. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. Yeah. Living in places of suitable kinds with the fruits of past good deeds, guided by the rightful way. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. This is how to make your life better. Here we go. Accomplished in learning and craftsman skills, with discipline, highly trained, speech that is true and pleasant to hear. Ready? These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. This is the filiality one. Go, ready? Providing for mother and father support, cherishing family, ways of work that harm no being. These are the highest blessings. These are the highest blessings. We've got more to go. Generosity, restraint, avoiding intoxicants, respectful, humble, willing to accept your faults, committed to the holy life, highest blessings, unshaken, the mind remains. If you live by this path, you know victory wherever you go. These are the highest blessings. So, here we go. All right, and the announcements are such that, we'll repeat next week, Jin Chuan and Jin Wei Shi are going to be taking care of the lecture. I will be on an airplane at the time, and I will be in the Gold Coast right after, and lecturing online. Heng Lai, Dharma Master Lai, will be coming to Australia on early in March, so we'll be together for about a week or more. And I'll be back in June, but you'll see me on every Saturday night. So that's my news. Jin Chuan, Jin Wei Shi, do we have any announcements for?
I just thought of one that will be posted on the BBM website soon. There's a film event with Reverend Heng Shi and Ted Berger on the short movie called Vows. Ted Berger, we know, is a friend of the monastery who made the movie Amongst White Clouds, and also One Mind, documenting True Suchness Monastery. He made another movie called Vows, documenting an ordination ceremony. I believe it was at Bailing Si, right, Dharma Master? I think it was at
That was at Bailing Si.
Yeah, so also a monastery that is our friend. Dharma Master Minghai is the abbot there. And so that will be on, I have the date here, Tuesday, March 7th, 7 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. at Pacific Standard Time. So 7 to 8:30 p.m. And so it's going to be an event hosted by DRBU, inviting Director Ted Berger and Reverend Heng Shi to have a discussion about the movie And also afterwards, I think following week, Jing Wei and myself will have a follow-up event on vows. So please stay posted. Yeah, a vows workshop. The other thing is we are thinking about starting up our classes here at the Berkeley Monastery again. So if you keep your eyes on our website, we'll be kind of putting them up as the teachers and instructors come back to teach at the monastery. And so, yeah, so stay posted.
Great. Alrighty. Outstanding.
Monday at Dharma Ron Buddhist University will be a special event, and Reverend Heng Sure and Professor Marty Verhoeven will have a conversation about the pilgrimage, and the title is Living Journal. I'm maybe check.
Living letters, right?
Living letters. I'm trying to find maybe, I think there's a Zoom link to it for people who wish to join that. So we will also put that on our BBM website as soon as possible. So that's this Monday, I believe, 12:30 to 2 o'clock.
Is there a website on that or not?
I'm just looking for it. I don't see.
Yeah.
So we can get the information and
It was
post it.
postponed.
Yeah.
That's the DRBU Arts Council. So Marty Verhoeven, former Hung Chao, and I will be at DRBU Monday, day after tomorrow, at 12:30 in the back at the university building to read letters that we wrote to Master Hua during our pilgrimage. Just let you know about that. It's available, where? How can we? So Jin Chuan will.
It's February 20th, 12:30 to 2 p.m. on the building 123 South Wing, second floor lounge. I don't see a Zoom link on the email, but I'll email the organizers to ask for one and then post it on the website.
All right. Hold up. Okay, let me show you. Story from Good Karma Music. My best friend and sisters recently told me on separate occasions they're going through hard times, whether they're feeling sad or tired or upset. I know what it's like to feel blue, so I took out my stationery supplies and wrote them each a letter. I decorated the envelopes and stamped cute stamps onto the paper I wrote on. I included stickers, wrote words from my heart, empathized with what they were going through, encouraged them, and wished them well. Writing letters is one of my favorite things to do, so I was happy to get the chance to spread a little joy to those I love and care about. Difficult times get a bit easier when you know someone is out there thinking of you. Send them music of their choice. Yo. Whoever is putting out this wonderful series of New Year's illustrations, I really like these. This is Goodbye to the Year of the Tiger, Hello to the Year of the Rabbit. High paw. Okay. Here we go. Transfer merit. Make a wish. Send it out far. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaisajya Guru Vaidurya Pravarajaya Tathagata Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tadyata Om Vaisaje Vaisaje Vaisaja Sankate Swaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vaisajya Guru Arahate Dhavirajaya Tathagata Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tathyacha Om Aisaji Aisaji Aisarya Samukate Swa. One more time. Om Namo Bhagavate Aisaja Guru Vaidurya Prabharajaya Tathagacaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Tathyacha Om Aisaji Aisaji Aisarya Samukate Swaha. Boy, that's sounding better and better and better. Everybody sings along. It's just great. That means it's more and more effective as people put it in their hearts and send it out with your wishes. Okay, let us bow to the Buddha here from where you're sitting, and wherever you're. There are 75 friends listening from China tonight, according to our faithful translators. Here we go. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. Namo Da Fang Guang Fo Hua Yan Jing Hua Yan Ai Hui Ho Pu Sa. Okay, good night everybody. That'll do it for us. Amitofo.